Okay, so before we begin, I would like to know what you understand by the word meditation and what do you want to know?
So, for me, meditation is a way of a state of being where you are trying to disconnect from your thoughts to the extent possible. And what I want to get out of it is similar, is trying to do that. So I read a lot about, you know, various practices on spirituality, but it's more theory. So for me, I'm interested in the practical aspect of it. How do you actually practice that?
Okay. Anyone who wants to know anything else?
Something similar. I've tried to meditate a few times, but I'm just not able to silence my mind at all. And I don't feel like my life is chaotic or anything like that, but I'd like to know how to be able to do it. So if there are any kind of ways to achieve that, any practical knowledge concerning that.
Yeah. I think before we go to the practical aspect, we have to first understand what the whole thing is about. Why are we doing it? So, if we understand it clearly, so if you are clear about meditation in your mind, then applying it becomes altogether different.
So I've also read a lot about meditation. I've even practiced it a few times. I mean, over the last 6 months, I've been doing it at least 3 times a week. And there are a lot of different styles and types of meditation. So one is where you observe your breath, and the other type is that you focus on one part of the body. And so that I've been through various styles, and I always get confused between which style to employ. But I guess it's all about looking inwards. So again, even I would want to know the practical aspect of how, which one to employ, when do you employ which one, how do you...
Okay. Basically, to begin, let us begin from the word meditation. It comes from the Latin word meditare. There are so many other etymological references to the word meditation, but what do they mean? What does meditare mean again? It means to ponder. It again comes from the word med, to measure, medicine, medicinal dimension of the word. But all these words have originated from either Latin or whatever, Greek. They have that Western influence. The word actually, I think, was coined somewhere in the 14th century, and it has a Western influence. But the process is from India. It began in India. It began in the spiritual traditions in India. So the Indian word for meditation is dhyana. Now it's very simple. We don't even need to go into the etymology of the word dhyan. What does dhyan mean? Very interesting, very simple. What does dhyan mean?
Attention.
Yes. Dhyan means attention. Attention to what? Now this is where the whole process begins. So first I would like to tell you that when we think of the word meditation, read about it, it becomes one process. As you said, looking within, and then you follow either observing the breath or whatever. We feel that meditation is one process. Though it is one process, it has few dimensions. It is multi-dimensional. The process, not the word, the process is multi-dimensional. Meaning, meditation can be done for the body. So first is for health. The second is, so let's call the first physical. The second part of meditation is intellectual, to empower. The third is to awaken. The fourth is spiritual. I would not like to go into the fifth, which is metaphysical. Let's not go there. But let us understand, though we think that meditation is one thing, it is not one thing per se. It is a process which has to be used, or which can be used for 4 different things. आरोग्य के लिए, to increase your potential, to awaken, and to become one. So let us understand when I say what is meditation used for, as far as the body is concerned, as far as health is concerned. From time immemorial, man has been living in a chaotic world. उस टाइम कम होता होगा, लेकिन था. People are forefathers. You must be going into the jungle for food or whatever. Suppose the tiger just springs from somewhere. Then what did we have? What did we experience? We experienced something known as the fight or flight syndrome. Now our body is prepared to either fight a challenge or flight a challenge, or run away from there. That is how we are made. Now, how does that relate to present day situation? We are living in a stressful world. There are so many stresses from everywhere, and whenever we feel stressed, there is a mechanism which goes on in our brain, which is known as the sympathetic nervous system. So sympathetic nervous system जब on होता है, तब क्या होता है? The brain basically feels that there is some danger to this person. That is why it triggers the sympathetic nervous system. When that is triggered, what happens is कि हमारे किडनी के ऊपर 2 ग्रंथियां हैं, जिसको हम एड्रेनल्स कहते हैं. वहां से there is a communication between the brain, the pineal, the pituitary, and the adrenals, and cortisol is flushed into our blood. Why? To either fight the situation, whatever it is. Now the brain doesn't understand whether it's a practical situation or it's an imaginary situation. It just understands that there's a challenge that this fellow is facing. Now trigger the sympathetic nervous system. उसके अंदर cortisol डाल दो. So all the muscles, the major muscles, the legs and the hands get more of blood supply. Why? Either to run or to fight. Okay. Now this is what happens when we experience stress. Stress could be anything. Stress on the road, stress in traffic, stress at home, stress at workplace. Wherever we feel कि कुछ problem है, there's some problem, there's some kind of fear, some tension, some kind of distress inside, on हो जाता है, ये सब cortisol अंदर जाता है, and because the major blood supply goes to the bigger muscles to fight or flight, the vital organs को blood supply कम मिलता है, and वहाँ पे immunity कम हो जाती है. And then it is said today that 90% of the world's diseases are psychosomatic. Why? Because of this process, हमारी immunity कम हो जाती है, and then the weakest link in our body gets affected. उसको अगर ब्लड प्रेशर होना है, वो अगर वीकेस्ट लिंक है तो उसको ब्लड प्रेशर हो जाएगा. उसका गट अगर वीकेस्ट है तो गट का प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा, उसके जॉइंट्स अगर वीकेस्ट है तो जॉइंट के प्रॉब्लम्स हो जाएंगे, वॉट एवर द पर्सन्स वीकेस्ट लिंक विल गेट अफेक्टेड. ओके, नाउ नेचर हैज अ प्रोसेस. ये सब स्ट्रेस आपने संभाल लिया तो क्या होना चाहिए? इट शुड काम डाउन, द सिस्टम शुड काम डाउन. सो काम डाउन होने के लिए क्या होना चाहिए? देयर इज अ प्रोसेस नोन एज द पैरासिम्पैथेटिक जो ऑन होता है. ओके, नाउ विद द काइंड ऑफ लाइफ दैट वी आर लिविंग, देयर आर स्ट्रेसेस डायरेक्ट और इनडायरेक्ट फ्रॉम सो मेनी एरियाज ऑफ लाइफ कि हम लोगों का पैरासिम्पैथेटिक नर्वस सिस्टम ऑन ही नहीं होता है. आर यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग? सो द बॉडी is always on that alert mode. Now, meditation used for the physical reason is to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. How do you activate the parasympathetic nervous system? By feeling for some period of time, maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes, that everything is okay. How does that happen? It can happen with two ways. The first way is when you consciously relax your body. How do we consciously relax our body? आपने कभी progressive relaxation try किया? You want to try it?
That's the one where you focus on each
Each part of the body, just we will do it in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So you will just experience what it is to just, it is like giving a command. If you just close your eyes, just focus on my voice. Just look at your feet. Feel that they are relaxing. Your toes, your feet, the soles of your feet, they're just relaxing. Don't bother to find out whether they're really relaxing or not, but they're just relaxing. The muscles of your calves, just look at them. Feel करो कि वहां से सब जो भी कुछ छोटा मोटा टेंशन है रिलीज हो गया है, जैसे बलून में से हवा निकल जाती है. जस्ट फील इट्स जस्ट रिलैक्सिंग. लुक एट योर नीज, फील दैट दे आर रिलैक्सिंग. लुक एट योर थाइज, योर बटक्स. जस्ट रिलैक्स. And look at your abdomen. Feel all the muscles are relaxing. Take a deep breath. While exhaling, feel everything is just relaxing. Look at the muscles of your stomach. Allow them to relax. Your chest. Let it relax. Now look at your spine. All the muscles around it. The muscles of your back, lower back. Let it just relax. Look at your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your forearms, palms and fingers. Just allow them to relax. Look at the back of your head. top of your head. The scalp is relaxing. Look at your forehead. Release whatever pressure you feel there. Observe your eyelids. Your cheeks. Relax your jaw. Take a deep breath very softly. Exhale. Now just open your eyes. Could you feel some kind of relaxation? Now this is a conscious command we are giving to our brain that we are all right. By doing this, the parasympathetic nervous system will get triggered और जो sympathetic nervous system में जो भी stress hormones blood में गए हैं, they will get dissolved and hormones like endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, DHEA, all these kind of hormones which will empower the system, relax the system, will be created in the blood. Now, along with this, what are we doing? We are not doing nothing. We are using meditation to heal our body, which on its own is not getting healed because we are not allowing the parasympathetic nervous system to get activated naturally. Now, a person called Herbert Benson wrote a very interesting book way back in the 1980s. The name of the book was The Relaxation Response. That was the time transcendental meditation had become a hype in the Western world. Have you heard about transcendental meditation? Initiated by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. So उस टाइम पे वो क्या करते थे, अगर आपको initiate होना है into TM, they used to give you a mantra for a particular price, a cost, it had some fee, and then you were supposed to chant that secret mantra. That mantra was to be given only to you. Your mantra was your mantra, according to whatever parameters they had. Herbert Benson was a scientist and he started researching on that, and he realized that if you even utter a word when you exhale, when you are relaxed, वही केमिकल बदल बॉडी में हो जाते हैं जो मंत्र से होते हैं. So he said कि even if you say the word one in your mind, one, wait, again say the word one, the same effect is created. And then after 10 years he wrote another book, Beyond the Relaxation Response. And he realized that instead of the word one, if you utter a word which is close to you, say if you utter Om, you say Shanti, you say peace, or whatever, that has more effect in creating the relaxation response. So we can just relax our body. Many a time what happens is there is so much of chaos in the mind. Abhi, because I was there to facilitate, you could at least focus yourself for those 3 minutes. When you start doing it on your own, your mind starts going here and there and you can't even meditate or relax your body. So in that case, if you just observe your breath, and while observing your breath, if you just select any word which you like, it could be anything, peace, peace. Just experience that word repeat it again. Purpose क्या है? To activate the parasympathetic nervous system to experience good health. Immune system develop हो जाती है. This is the first step in understanding meditation. So all over the spiritual traditions and schools in the world, they follow a particular method. So उनके स्कूल में क्या आया है? अगर यही आया है तो वो यही सीखेंगे. अगर कुछ और आया है तो और सीखेंगे. So it depends on which school they belong to, because meditation is not taught holistically to people. Because उनके जो गुरु है, और so if he follows X, if he says कि मंत्र ले लो, so आपने मंत्र ले लिया. मंत्र से क्या हुआ? अगर जप किया आपने, जप से क्या हुआ? You unknowingly activate the parasympathetic nervous system. क्या हुआ? अच्छा लगा, सुकून लगा. आपको क्या लगा? मेडिटेशन का फायदा हो गया मुझे. So this is the first step towards understanding. Meditation can be used to improve our health, to feel relaxed, because that is the need of the day, and that is the reason meditation in the last 30 years, 40 years maybe, became so widely used process in the world. People wanted to de-stress, and this was the easiest. So instead of इतना सब explain करने से, मैं अगर आपके साथ बैठता और 10 मिनट चलो बैठेंगे, प्रैक्टिकल करना है ना, तो बैठेंगे शांत से, ये रिलैक्स हो गए, ओम ओम ओम, ओके आपको आ गया, प्रैक्टिकल करवा दिया. बट यू डिडंट अंडरस्टैंड व्हाई यू आर डूइंग इट. आर यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग? सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट वे टू अंडरस्टैंड मेडिटेशन.
Thank you very much for explaining, because I've been hearing about it so much, and I always wondered, why should I do it?
Why
like
should
why?
you do it?
I mean, I don't. This isn't. It's not coming to me. So why break my head over this thing?
Exactly.
You know. Yeah.
But now you are clear. If you want to do it for your health, you can just say, sit and just use the word you want to,
Yeah.
whichever.
Yeah.
And what you are doing is activating your parasympathetic. That's all.
Yeah.
You can listen to good music. You can listen to a CD on progressive relaxation. तो रिलैक्स हो गई बॉडी. पर हमारा उद्देश्य क्या है? इम्यूनिटी बढ़ाना, पैरासिम्पैथेटिक नर्वस सिस्टम को एक्टिवेट करना. दैट्स ऑल. दैट्स द फर्स्ट स्टेप. द सेकंड स्टेप इज इंटेलेक्चुअल, टू एम्पावर. एम्पावर आवर पोटेंशियल. सो व्हाट इज एम्पावरिंग आवर पोटेंशियल? बेसिकली देखिए, in the last again say 40 years 50 years न्यूरोलॉजी पे बहुत सारा रिसर्च हुआ, न्यूरोप्लास्टिसिटी पे रिसर्च हुआ. बिकॉज अर्लियर पीपल इज टू से कि आफ्टर अ पर्टिकुलर एज द सेल्स इन द ब्रेन स्टॉप ग्रोइंग, which was a myth. In the last say 30-40 years, scientists, researchers realized that the brain is very very dynamic. It is very plastic in the sense it can change, constantly change, activate. And वहाँ पे पुरानी ही आइडिया साइंटिफिकली रखी गई लोगों के सामने in the form of mindful meditation. Becoming mindful. Now what is becoming mindful? We are going to the next step. First physical हो गया, second is intellectual, empowering. उसके लिए क्या करना है? We don't have to relax or do anything. We have to be mindful. Now, what do you understand by the word mindful?
That book was
Conscious
talking
about everything that you do.
Not everything. Conscious about what you are doing. If I want to drink a cup of tea, हम ऑटो मोड पे पीते हैं ना चाय. We are never aware that we are drinking that. We never experience the aroma. We don't experience the touch of the cup, whether it's bone china, whether it's glass, whether it's ceramic. What is it? We are not aware. We are not aware of the taste. Maybe फॉर द फर्स्ट सिप, उसके बाद ऑटो हो जाता है. सो सिस्टम ऑटो मोड पे ही है. बट व्हेन यू बिकम अवेयर of whatever you are doing, if you become mindful of whatever you are doing, you are drinking a cup of tea, you are taking bath, you are brushing your teeth, you are tying your shoelace, you are just picking up the phone. I am now aware of the phone, I am aware of the touch, I feel the phone. What happens? Prefrontal cortex gets activated. This is the prefrontal cortex. Prefrontal cortex activate हो जाता है when you become mindful. फायदा क्या है? Basically brain के जो दो hemispheres है, left और right, they come in coherence. They are not in coherence. We have two hemispheres of the brain. One is left, one is right. Left is very, very logical, calculative. And what do we need in everyday living? We are constantly calculating x, y, z. कितना टाइम बैठूं मैं, कितना देर बात करूंगा, इससे मुझे क्या मिलेगा, मेरा फायदा क्या है. कैलकुलेशन पे दुनिया बेस्ड है, इसलिए लोग ऐसे कहते हैं कि द वर्ल्ड इज लिविंग विद देयर लेफ्ट ब्रेन. द लेफ्ट ब्रेन इज लॉजिकल एंड द राइट ब्रेन इज मैजिकल. इट इज मैजिकल, इट्स क्रिएटिव, इट्स इंट्यूशनल. But we never operate from the right brain. But when we become mindful, ये दोनों brain, दोनों hemispheres of brain come into coherence. That is the first thing that happens where we become logical also, because logic is important, and we become magical also, we become creative also. Creative juices start flowing, we start getting better ideas, we become more focused, we can attend, I think, very, very constructively towards whatever we are doing. At the same time, we are relaxed because there is coherence taking place, and the inner potentials that we have get activated, get awakened when we become mindful. वो ऑटो मोड छोड़ दिया है और in pieces we become mindful. Now a new thing starts happening. If you want to experience this, if you start becoming mindful, छोटे छोटे चीजों के लिए, want to drink a glass of water, let's drink a glass of water. Let's be there when we are drinking that glass of water. So वो हम थोड़े थोड़े चीज में भी करते हैं. In 3 months' time, we will experience a different personality growing within us. We will realize that we have become very sharper, we have become very compassionate at the same time, we have become focused. Some hidden potentials have all of a sudden awakened. People start writing poetry after doing this. Why didn't they write poetry earlier? They feel like expressing themselves, they feel like painting, they feel like doing some gardening. वहाँ पे ध्यान देंगे, वो पेड़ की तरफ ध्यान देंगे. They will experience a rose growing. They will start liking that. Earlier क्या हुआ था? They were never there. So the entire Eastern world, China, Japan, they are mainly, all the Buddhist traditions, they are mainly on being mindful. So the second area or dimension of meditation is to become mindful, so that our prefrontal cortex is activated and it starts developing like a muscle, and we start becoming smarter.
But how do you drink cup of tea being mindful? Feel the cup, feel the ceramic, feel the aroma.
वो छोड़िए, वो भी छोड़िए. Let's drink the cup of tea while drinking the cup of tea.
While doing it, not do anything else.
हाँ, let's try not to do anything. Thought तो आएगा. प्रॉब्लम क्या है, बहुत सारे लोग जो मेडिटेशन पे बोलते हैं वो नो माइंड की बात बोलते हैं. Let thought not come into your mind. जब ये कोशिश करेंगे तब इतने थॉट्स आएंगे. थॉट भी आने दो. At the same time, let me drink that. Let me be there when I am taking that sip.
Experience it fully.
उसके बाद शायद जाएगा इधर, जाने दो. वापस उसको मैं ले आऊंगा. I will bring that attention back. So these two things, एक physical and एक intellectual. This is to develop our personalities. These two areas of meditation.
Sorry, I have one more question. So for the mindful, should you pick a couple of daily activities, because it's not possible that you be mindful for every single thing. So should
No, you
pick-
don't have to be.
Okay.
We cannot be.
Yeah.
But let's be mindful when you are taking a bath. Say total 10 minutes. If you are taking a bath for 10 minutes, we may not be mindful. But at least when we pick up the soap, let's smell the soap. Let's feel the soap. Let's feel the shower. 10 minutes में अगर 60 seconds भी mindful हो गए तो बस हो गया ना वो मसल डेवलप होने के लिए.
But should you pick the same activity for a period of time to, better develop the habit, or it can be anything every day?
It could be anything.
It could be.
Because same again auto हो जाता है कई दिनों के बाद.
Yeah.
You lose the spontaneity. So it will again become mechanical.
Yeah.
So let's not make it mechanical. But now you know that I have to become mindful. Start doing it the way you want. ये दो चीजें, एक फिजिकल और दूसरा इंटेलेक्चुअल और whatever. The third is the most important aspect of meditation, which is awakening. Awakening. Now, ध्यान दो, attention, awareness. We taking mindful to a finer state of becoming. Now in being mindful, what did we do? We became mindful towards external things. In the third state, we become mindful about what is happening in me. We become aware of our thoughts. This is the most important aspect of meditation. और ये करने के लिए आपको क्रॉस लेग्ड 20 मिनट बैठने की जरूरत नहीं है. That is where the whole problem arises. People relate meditation to sitting cross-legged with closed eyes for say 10 minutes, 15 minutes. हाँ वो एक aspect है ना, लेकिन that is not meditation. ध्यान has to be a 24-hour thing. It's not easy to become aware for 24 hours because it's a muscle, it has to develop. I am aware for 16 hours. I am awake for 16 hours and I am aware for 16 hours. I started doing this, I consciously started doing this in 1975. 40 साल हो गए almost. 40 years I have been practicing that. That does not mean that I am aware of each and every thought that arises in my mind, but I am aware of any thought which is a discordant thought, which is an unpleasant thought entering the arena of my consciousness. Are you getting me? Now, पहली चीज, just try to understand one thing which people normally don't understand is, we think that we are our thought. इसका मतलब कि जो भी thought मेरे मन में आता है वो मेरा है. No. Thought is a thought and you are or you can become the observer of the thought. विपश्यना का सबसे बड़ा एस्पेक्ट ये है, अनापन सति योग, टू बिकम कॉन्शियस, अवेयर ऑफ अ थॉट. यू आर नॉट योर थॉट, योर माइंड इज अ प्रोसेसर. इट विल स्टार्ट प्रोसेसिंग थॉट्स बिकॉज दैट इज इट्स जॉब. लेकिन वो क्या करता है, माइंड क्या करता है, इट विल स्टार्ट पिकिंग थॉट्स फ्रॉम द पास्ट, it will start picking thoughts from the future and keep you occupied. So you are constantly in the past, you are constantly in the future, you are never there where life is actually happening. Life is happening in the now. Where are we in the now? We are never in the now. We are hooked on to thought. इतना भी अगर समझ में आ गया, then this dimension can develop to become aware of our thought. We are so associated to our thought that we can't imagine कि ये मेरा thought नहीं है. अरे मेरे अंदर आया है तो मेरा ही है ना, नहीं है आपका नहीं है. आपका नहीं है, thought है, वो आपके जहन में आया है. Now you can become either the slave by succumbing to the thought or become the master by choosing whether to allow it to come in or just ask it to leave. This is something very important. But this is, ये प्रसाद है. Awareness ये प्रसाद है. इतने चिपके हैं हम और थॉट, तो ये जो अलग होना है, distancing myself from whatever is happening in my mind. Now suppose एक unpleasant thought आ गया, normal आदमी क्या करेगा? He'll start getting involved in that thought and he will go on spinning with it. जहाँ पे भी वो ले जाएगा. A person who is aware will immediately realize that one thought, because that thought will necessarily come either from the past or the future. आया है, do I need to get involved? This is awareness. So when a person starts becoming aware, he even starts becoming aware of anger, of fear. You don't become fearful. Now the mind creates fear. Now when you are an aware person, you have to see whether that fear has any kind of substance. Because most of the time that fear is imaginary. अगर ऐसा हुआ तो it's not real. It's phantom, but we get associated. So one who can become, one who really wants to understand meditation and experience meditation, he has to awaken to the process or to the thoughts that come into his consciousness. It is not a 24/7 thing because we can't. But at least we should be aware of an unpleasant thought as and when it appears into your mind. इतना भी अगर हो गया, ये आया है, अभी ये आया है, don't treat it like an enemy. The moment you treat it like an enemy, it will get more of enemies. Treat it like a thought. Okay, you've come. Befriend the thought. आप क्यों आए सर अभी? अभी जरूरत क्या है? एक तो अगर बीता हुआ है तो बीत गए हैं, अभी क्या है आपका काम? और अगर फ्यूचर का है तो अभी फ्यूचर अनफोल्ड नहीं हुआ है, फ्यूचर बहुत ही डायनामिक है, आप क्यों आए हैं? फियर लेके, एंजाइटी लेके. Now you can see the thought, befriend it. Befriending it is just talking to that mind. Why are you here? And the moment you start, when the mind realizes that this person now is becoming awakened, उसकी जो तीव्रता है वो कम होती जाएगी. And that's why I said in the माइंड ऑफ अ पर्सन लाइक मी, एक तो वो निगेटिव थॉट नाम की चीज आती ही नहीं है. क्योंकि 40 साल कोशिश की है उन्होंने आने की. I don't allow them. So now they know that it's useless going to this fellow. He doesn't entertain. He doesn't get involved. He doesn't magnify. So कितने साल कोशिश करेंगे? वो बहुत साल पहले बंद हो गए. Not that they have stopped now. I think they have stopped 30 years ago. They don't come. So now, that is why they say that when this faculty awakens within anyone, that person becomes the master of his life. He becomes a Swami. Swami. Swami is becoming the master. Or else, that person is a slave to his mind. That is why Osho used to say, meditation can be done in the marketplace. You can be in the marketplace, still become aware of what is happening within you, whether there is something unnecessarily entering. If it is not entering, you are okay. अगर enter करता है और अगर आप aware हो गए तो you are meditating in marketplace. आँख बंद करके करने की कोई जरूरत ही नहीं. To become awakened, aware, is the third and the most crucial step of meditation. वहाँ पे ध्यान इस शब्द का पूरी तरह से एक्सपीरियंस हमें आता है कि ध्यान दो किस तरफ, किस चीज की तरफ ध्यान दो. आपके मन में किस तरह के विचार उभर रहे हैं उसकी तरफ ध्यान दो. जो अच्छे हैं स्वीकारो, जो नहीं है देखो उनकी तरफ, वो आहिस्ता आहिस्ता निकल जाएंगे.
Why do you distinguish between unpleasant and pleasant thoughts? So even if it's a pleasant thought, if it comes from the past or the future,
Let it come.
but then you're willing to engage with those.
Yeah, because it is not creating any discord within. अच्छा और बुरा. What is अच्छा and बुरा? Basically, अच्छा and बुरा is relative. लेकिन what is अच्छा and बुरा? For me, whatever gives me a feeling of joy is अच्छा. Whatever makes me disturbed is not अच्छा for me. That's not. So अगर unpleasant thought, अगर pleasant thought आता है, अगर मुझे अच्छा लगता है तो I enjoy that thought. लेकिन becoming aware of an unpleasant thought is very important because it destabilizes the body. वो छोटा सा या तो दुख क्रिएट करेगा, गिल्ट क्रिएट करेगा, एंजाइटी क्रिएट करेगा, फियर क्रिएट करेगा, क्रोध क्रिएट करेगा. इससे क्या होगा? वापस बॉडी विल गो ऑन टू दैट फाइट और फ्लाइट मोड. So we are not taking care of the body then. Are you understanding? This step is slightly difficult, but this is the crux of meditation. और इसलिए सिर्फ आप आरोग्य के लिए ध्यान करते रहे जिंदगी भर और कुछ ज्यादा एक्सपेक्ट करते गए तो you will never get that because you are not into that. You are not experiencing anything spiritual or anything more because you are not doing that kind of meditation. You are doing a basic meditation. लोकल लेवल पे अगर हम जिम्नास्टिक्स प्रैक्टिस करते हैं और ओलंपिक में जाने की अगर सपने देखते हैं तो नहीं सिर्फ लोकल लेवल पे करके चलेगा नहीं. हमें वी हैव टू गो अहेड, एडवांस आवर कैपेसिटीज. तो सिर्फ गली में खेल के नहीं होगा. हाँ, गली में खेल के भी लोग अच्छे क्रिकेटर्स बन गए ना, लेकिन दे हैव इम्प्रूव्ड देमसेल्व्स, दे हैव गॉन अहेड. सो बेसिक मेडिटेशन जिंदगी भर करो, क्या होगा? वहीं पे होगा. शायद थोड़ा सुकून महसूस होगा. दैट्स ऑल. दैट इज व्हाट पीपल आर एक्सपीरियंसिंग. माइंडफुल होने से इनर पोटेंशियल जागरूक हो जाएगा, लेकिन कितने लोग माइंडफुल होते हैं? नहीं होते। कितने लोग अवेयर हो जाते हैं? जो आदमी अवेयर हो गया उसके थॉट्स के प्रति, उसकी नैया पार हो गई। Then he becomes a mukta. He becomes a free man. And that is the true meaning of the word moksha. Moksha from what? From these unpleasantries. And the equation is so bad that 80% unpleasant thoughts उभर रहे हैं। अगर आए तो 20%, वो भी if you're lucky. Scientists say कि 90% thoughts are repetitive, they are negative. 90% of thoughts. And because we are so attached to them, we are living with them, creating all kind of disturbances in the body and mind. That's why there is so much of unrest. For a person who becomes aware, बंद हो गया ना, मोक्ष हो गया, he becomes a free man. Now the question is whether you want to become free or not. जिसको होना है उसके लिए ये उपाय है। Are you clear? कोई सवाल है?
So how do you do this? Like, what's the process
It's to just become aware. There is no process.
to consciously think of?
No, you don't think of anything. बस आपको कुछ नहीं करना है, सिर्फ अवेयर होना है कि जो मन में विचार आते हैं, एक तो उनकी तरफ थोड़ा सा डिस्टेंस, you have to slightly distance yourself from the thought, knowing that they are getting spinned from a processor known as the mind. We have two kinds of minds. One is the thinking mind, जो constant पीछे 24/7 लगा रहता है, and the other is the working mind. Working mind is we use that mind for a particular reason. अगर आपको कुछ बनाना है, whatever, if you want to make a dish, now you are using your information, you are using that mind to do whatever you want to do. Okay, वो कर लिया, करने के बाद क्या हुआ? The thinking mind takes over and it takes you over. You get hooked. One who becomes slightly aware, now that is, अभी आप in your day-to-day living आपको पता चल गया कि now ये thought आ गया यार मेरे दिमाग में. Now till this moment probably you are not aware that a thought has emerged and you have to look at it. Till this moment the thought used to emerge and you used to get hooked. Now you have probably got an additional dimension कि मुझे देखना है उसकी तरफ. This is where the process begins. इसके लिए कुछ करना नहीं. You just have to be, to see if there is anything coming up.
Like you said, there are some thoughts which are repetitive, and mostly they are negative thoughts which are repetitive. So these thoughts come, and from our last session when Gaurav was here and we were doing it, I try and tell myself also the minute the thought comes that no, I'm not going to accept it. It goes, but it goes with a little pain is still there. It doesn't, I mean, like it's not that it has just passed away. It still leaves a little.
Because you have not released the charge related to that thought. And when we learn tapping, it is to release that charge which is associated with that thought.
No, I'm not clear on the charge.
Now, जो भी negative thought आता है, उसके core में कोई तो emotion है ना. I mean, like yesterday, I have a neighbor who is, for whatever reason, he'll park his car to make it difficult for my daughter to take her car out or whatever, for no reason. तो my daughter was telling me yesterday कि उससे जाके मैं बात करूँ, ये करूँ, ये ऐसे करता है, वैसे करता है. I was just sitting and I was just looking inside. I realized कि मेरे अंदर उस आदमी के प्रति गुस्सा है. मुझे गुस्सा आ गया है उसका, and that gussa was there inside me. I could experience that gussa. I said, why am I keeping that gussa in me? Now that gussa, that emotion is a charge. In fact, it's a very technical thing कि for whatever reason he must be doing it. अगर ज़्यादा हो गया तो I can go and tell him कि जरा सा ठीक करो. Not a big thing, but the mind tries to magnify it to such an extent कि it will create that anger in you. It created anger in me. I said, okay, fine. I just tapped, said, for no rhyme or reason, I am experiencing that anger in me. I tapped for just twice, and that anger just dissolved. So after that, I thought of that man again. The charge was not there. ये डे टू डे लिविंग की बात कर रहा हूँ. You don't know what I am talking about. You don't know about how to release a charge, because that was the last session we had here.
But in such a situation, like, did you go and tell him once and let it be, or did you just let the whole incident go by?
No, I'm telling. I had told him earlier.
Okay.
कुछ हो गया था. तो उसके बाद he just kept on doing that. Fine. मुझे कोई I realized that I don't want to give it so much of importance. और इतना भी बहुत प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. लेकिन माइंड को ऐसे आदत है कि छोटी सी चीज को भी वो मैग्नीफाई करेगा. My daughter could have dusted it off also. Not a very big thing. कितने दिन करेगा वो? Eventually वो भी तंग आ जाएगा. But we don't want that. We are constantly on that defensive mode. So she probably magnified it in her mind, and she transferred it or wanted to transfer it to me. For a fraction, even मेरे अंदर वो गुस्सा आ गया. लेकिन जब मैं बैठा, I realized something is not okay. What is not making me feel okay? The anger about this person. I said, why is it here? Why am I keeping a dead rat in my pocket? Now realize उसको जाके मुझे forgive करना नहीं है, कुछ नहीं. I just have to take out the dead rat and throw it. Because why am I keeping it in? I just tapped for 2 rounds and that just vanished. So what happens in your case is, it may leave at that moment of time, but if it is coming back, उसका जो कोर है, वो जो इमोशनल कॉज है, वो आपने हैंडल नहीं किया है, वो ट्रीट नहीं किया है, उसको रिलीज नहीं किया है, इसलिए वो वापस आया. If this fellow's anger wouldn't have gone completely, आज सवेरे भी मैंने देखा उसके बारे में सोच के, whether it follows with some anger. The anger was not there. I said, good, he is released. Even I am released. So, to unburden ourselves. अंदर अगर when I am sitting quietly, there is nothing inside but a feeling of harmony. क्योंकि अंदर कुछ रखा ही नहीं. But we are not like this. We carry so much of baggage since our childhood. It's there. There's so many grievances that we carry, so many fears that we carry, so many things we carry inside. Actually, that is what I teach normally, how to unburden, how to release the charge of these emotions. That's a separate issue. Coming back to meditation, are you clear? So first में कुछ करना है आँख बंद करके, दूसरे में करना है आँख खुले रख के, to become mindful. Third में you have to do nothing but to become aware of your thoughts. That is the 3 aspects of meditation. The 4th is the spiritual, where you experience the limitless, infinite potential from where you have emerged. Now, are you understanding what I am saying? We have come from a source which is infinite. कहाँ से आए हैं आप? Where we have, हमारी माँ के कोख में से आया, that is our answer. But where has our माँ come from? Where has this whole universe come from? It has emerged from a space where there is nothing. Please understand, Brahma, nothing, but which has the potential to create everything. It is Nirgun, Nirakar. That space is Nirgun, Nirakar. There is nothing there.
तो समझ में आया निर्गुण निराकार क्या होता है?
Nirgun.
नहीं, they-
I don't know the meaning of those two words,
हाँ.
but I understood the basic concept.
हाँ, निर्गुण का मतलब it has no qualities. निराकार, it has no आकार.
Akar
Akar means shape.
Okay.
it has no
It has
form.
no form.
Yeah.
It is formless. It is now. If you understand science a bit, I'll explain it to you from that point of view. We are looking at this table. Okay. This is matter for us. Now, if we want to go deeper into this table, what will we choose? Let's choose an electron microscope. If we go deeper into the first layer of this table, क्या experience करेंगे? The molecular structure. उसके भी भीतर गए तो क्या experience करेंगे? The atomic structure. एटम के भी अंदर गए तो क्या एक्सपीरियंस करेंगे? द न्यूक्लियस. न्यूक्लियस के अंदर गए तो क्या एक्सपीरियंस करेंगे? क्वार्क्स. क्वार्क्स के भी अंदर गए तो क्या एक्सपीरियंस करेंगे? वाइब्रेशंस, एनर्जी. दैट इज व्हाट आइंस्टाइन टॉक्ड अबाउट. E is equal to mc square. Means this matter, though it is matter, in reality it's an expression of energy. Okay. सो वाइब्रेशन तक हम गए. उसके भी जब भीतर जाते हैं तब क्या है? देयर इज अ realm which is known as the zero point field. The zero point field, where there is nothing. Nothing. A scientist known as David Bohm calls it the implicate order of the universe. All this is the explicate order of the universe, which is expressing. Where is all this arisen from? The implicate order of the universe, where there is nothing but has the potential of everything. आ रहा है समझ में कुछ? या नहीं आ रहा है?
Kind of.
It's very simple.
Yeah.
The whole thing has emerged from where? Stephen Hawking says Big Bang. Where has Big Bang emerged from? We don't know. There is a space where there is nothing, but from where everything emerges. We are an expression of the same infinite state. But we are never there because we are constantly in the mind. Now the fourth stage of meditation is to experience that infinite state of being. How do we do that? We go into a phase where there is nothing. Now how do we experience that nothing? I will give you a simple experience of experiencing the nothingness. Okay? क्या करेंगे? एक ही सवाल खुद को पूछना है. उस सवाल पूछने के बाद don't focus on the सवाल. Just ask the question and keep quiet. See what happens. सवाल क्या है? Just close your eyes and just repeat the सवाल in your mind after I repeat it. The सवाल is, where is my next thought going to come from? Just observe what happens. I am going to repeat that. You repeat it after me. Just keep quiet after this question. Where is my next thought going to come from? Okay, now open your eyes. I didn't give you any idea what you would experience, or else you would have looked at it from that point. What did you experience when you asked this question? क्या हुआ अंदर?
I found myself repeating that question to myself.
What happened immediately after that question?
I got
There was a
nothing.
gap.
Huh?
Even I could, there was a gap.
There was a gap.
There was
Nothing.
Nothing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
There was a
that
gap.
gap.
Yeah.
You experienced nothing, maybe for 2 seconds, 3 seconds,
Yeah,
4 seconds,
yeah,
5 seconds. Probably that was the first time in your life you experienced a state where there is nothing. Then what is it there? There is only one thing, and that is presence. Whose presence? The presence of where we have emerged. दिखता ऐसे है कि we are living because we are eating, we are doing this, we are doing that. Are we living? Are we actually living? दिखता ऐसे है कि we are breathing. Are we breathing?
It's just
Breathing is happening. खा रहे हैं. Are we digesting? It is happening. Heart beat कर रहा है. Are we beating the heart? It's happening. So some unknown thing जिसको लोग भगवान कहते हैं, जो जिसको बोलते हैं ना भगवान हमारे भीतर है. So if ये अगर जीरो पॉइंट की एनालॉजी ले ली तो भगवान क्या है? 0 पॉइंट है, नथिंग. फ्रॉम वेयर एवरीथिंग एमर्जेस. लेकिन मुझे बचपन से सिखाया है भगवान को किसी फॉर्म में देखने का. नाउ आई रिलेट टू भगवान. X, Y and Z is Bhagwan. What is Bhagwan in reality? It is that spectrum from where everything has emerged. तो वो मुझ में भी है क्योंकि वहीं से ये फॉर्म जो है वहीं से आया है. So when I experience that nothingness, in common language I experience the Bhagwan which is there within me. It doesn't have to have any form. It is again Nirgun Nirakar. It has no form, no shape. It has no qualities. It's that nothingness. It is like taking this cloth and dipping it into the divine nectar of existence. Whenever you experience that gap, you come in coherence with divinity, that infinite, limitless space. जो व्यक्ति ये मेडिटेशन एक्सपीरियंस करेगा, as you practice it might go on increasing. जो व्यक्ति ये मेडिटेशन प्रैक्टिस करेगा, that person's personality will undergo a change. As it is, he is being lived. हमको क्या लगता है? We are living. We are not living. We are being lived. But we एलिमेंट इतना ज्यादा है और जो लिविंग हो, जो जिस वजह से लिविंग हो रहा है उसका तो कोई अस्तित्व ही नहीं है. Because I think I am there. But when you start experience that nothingness, you touch that divinity within you, where you realize that you are namesake, divinity is what is expressing through you. ये जब समझ में आएगा तो your personality will undergo a change. Moses says, I am that I am. That is where Aham Brahmasmi comes into picture. Aham Brahmasmi. I have emerged from the Brahma, but I never experienced the Brahma. Because I am constantly there. So Kabir says, जब मैं था तब वो नहीं, वो is the divinity. जब मैं था तब वो नहीं, ये ऐसे अंडरस्टैंडिंग के बाद शायद क्या हो सकता है, अब वो है, मैं नहीं. सब अंधेरा मिट गया जब दीपक देखा माही. So when I realize that I am being lived, I am just namesake, then I touch the infinite realm of existence. The whole. Then क्या हो, उसके बाद क्या हो जाता है? उसके बाद life just moves on, moves on. You just move on the rhythm, the current of life effortlessly. उसके बाद effort है, क्योंकि मुझे बात करने में भी अभी effort है, लेकिन मैं जब नहीं हूँ, when I know that I am not there, that effort is also not there. It's happening through me. So effortless है. Effort है फिर भी effortless है, because I am not taking any proprietary of speaking. ये थोड़ा सा subtle है, थोड़ा सा higher है. इसके बाद है the metaphysical, where there are certain kriyas, certain ways you awaken certain glands within your brain, where you acquire siddhis or whatever. Let's not go there. That's the department of Hatha Yoga. लेकिन जो मैंने अभी कहा, this is the scope of meditation. If you want to experience good health, बैठो, breathing करो, with every breath going out, just say a word, feel relaxed inside. Feeling relaxed inside is the secret. Only then the parasympathetic nervous system will activate, because the brain will know that this person now is okay. Become mindful, develop your prefrontal cortex, become more sharper and smarter. Become aware of your thoughts, so don't allow anything to disturb you. And finally, touch the divinity within you. This is the holistic understanding of meditation. Abhi all over people do whatever they have been taught of and think that is meditation. Okay for them. But I felt that you should at least understand the entire dimension of what meditation is.
For the fourth part, when you get there, how do you then relate back to normal life? Wouldn't you want to be in that state all the time then?
Of the world and of the world. दोनों हैं. You are enjoying this also, and it's like you are doing day-to-day business. You are also sitting in your drawing room and watching your TV. दोनों कर रहे हैं ना? तो टीवी देखते वक्त आप क्या काम कर रहे हो? So you are relating to your normal life as a normal person. You are enjoying whatever you are doing, but you are going into your antechamber to get your system charged. Imagine करो जो space है within, वो space को हम touch कर. I've made it so easy for you कि इसी को लोग इतना difficult करके बोलते हैं कि वो जो space है वह जाना ही इतना मुश्किल है. मैंने तो इतना आसान कर दिया. मैंने तो ये सब spiritualism का रोमांच ही खत्म कर दिया. But it's so easy. Nature has made it so easy. Nature has made nothing difficult. We've made it difficult. So attend to your daily activities the way you want to. थोड़ा सा आरोग्य को सुधारना है, थोड़ा सा मेडिटेशन करो 10 मिनट, feel relaxed within, okay, recharge हो गया वहाँ पे. If you want to become smarter, which you really are, just become mindful for some moments in your day. That will start getting activated. become aware so that you are not getting disturbed by unnecessary thoughts, and finally just enter into that deeper realm of consciousness where the entire thing, refresh button दबाते हैं ना कंप्यूटर, refresh करते हैं ना कंप्यूटर, so we get refreshed, or else we are not refreshed, we are bogged down. And to stay क्या कहते हैं, to stay pepped up, inspired, we do everything that is relatively superficial. वो जितना भी डालो वो खत्म ही हो जाता है. I go for a sunburn party. सनबर्न के टाइम 2-3 घंटा मैंने बहुत एंजॉय कर दिया, दूसरे दिन वापस मैं डिप्रेशन में हूँ, बिकॉज आई डोंट नो व्हाट टू डू नाउ, बिकॉज आई एम डूइंग एवरीथिंग to fill that emptiness within me. But when you experience that emptiness which is full, your glass is full, then you don't have to feel empty at all. It's a process. I just wanted you to understand this so you have no confusions about meditation per se. Then you choose any meditation. You know why you are doing it. There are 100 methods, but you know अभी किस लिए कर रहे हो.